Hi everybody, my name is Jim and welcome to a brand new episode of The Lake Effect Gardener. It is an absolute scorcher today. 85 degrees, according to the thermostat. That's nearly 30 degrees Celsius. So, I think we're going through the classic Western New York act of skipping over spring entirely and going right to summer. I don't know how long this will last, but I am not complaining in the least. I think the only complaints I have is having to spend a portion of it indoors, since obviously, you know, I have a job and I'm a teacher and things like that. So I don't think I'm any different from the kids when it comes to me looking outside the window and pining to be out there. So got home, quickly changed my clothes because they were drenched in sweat. Now I'm out here in the garden and I thought I would give you guys a little update on what's going on here. First and foremost, I would like to say thank you so much to everybody who commented, or everything, just in general, for the Make Do Mondays series that started last Monday. The response was great and a lot of people are enthusiastic about it. I even got some really cool comments when it comes to taking your soap and saving it in different ways. So thank you for those, because those are really helpful. And very, very big and special thank you and shout out to Vivi Gregory, darling Vivi, who so sweetly posted it on her Facebook page. And I generated quite a number of subscribers out of that. So almost close to 50 subscribers. So thank you so much, Vivi. You're the best. I really appreciate it. And to all those people who came over from Vivi's page, welcome. So happy to have you. So happy to have you under this little Western New York umbrella. So this week, I've been super busy with more infrastructure, if you believe it or not. This is really prime weather to start packing things into the bed and everything. But as I had said in my last garden video last Friday, that my seedlings are still rather small. So I'm not going to push my luck. I did get a couple of things put in the ground, but not all that much. Most of the things that I had put in were seeds. I went ahead and sowed a lot of seed, and I'll talk about that. I'm going to show you around. I'll show you what I did. But the big project for me, which is still ongoing because I haven't completely finished it yet, is I have completely enclosed my garden in fencing. Yes. When I did my little brassica video, you guys saw how I enclosed each of the, the smaller beds in wire so that I wouldn't have to worry about any of the local fauna getting in and having a nosh. And I'm thinking to myself, walking through the garden, I'm thinking to myself, oh, it'd be really nice if I had a garden that I could just walk into and everything is there at my fingertips, and not have these tiny little state penitentiaries erected around each of my beds. So I thought to myself, you know what? I've got enough fencing. I'm going to put it to use. So the complete border it's done. It's all around. It took me a couple of days to do. I did manage to use all the rest of that cattle panel that I purchased for my tunnel trellising, which was really nice. I found some that I didn't know I had, actually. I stumbled upon it. And the rest I just had on hand. So yes, I'm very pleased about that. I even went a step further to purchase some organic, what would you call it? Pest deterrent See, right now, I don't have a problem with rabbits anymore. In fact, I know I don't have a problem with rabbits anymore because days after I erected the fence around the garden, I saw a rabbit going around the perimeter completely bewildered. So I know it's not keeping, I know it's keeping rabbits out thus far. It is the squirrels and the chipmunks that I now have to contend with. They dig. They like to dig, okay? Squirrels and chipmunks, squirrels namely, like to, when they find their, you know, their booty, they like to dig and dig and dig and hide their nuts because that's their instinct. They want to start storing for winter. And if they have stored for winter, they have no idea where they had planted their nuts, so they're just digging everything up all willy-nilly. So I am coming across major holes inside of my beds, which is really, really frustrating. They have also seemed to find some of the seeds that I've planted as well. So I went out and I bought myself an organic pest control spray, okay? Can I just tell you that it is the most heinous thing that has ever crossed my nostrils? And that's the whole point of it. It's supposed to be so horrifically smelly, and because those particular animals have a higher sense of smell than we do, scent, it's supposed to deter them. Well, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. What else? What else? What else? I think I'll just take you out there. Let's just do that. I'm going to show you a couple of things. Come with me. All right. So I started out behind the little blue barn. And you can see, I don't know if you can see it honestly. Okay. This is rather tall fencing, I have to admit, for this garden. I think this is really good for deer and large animals, which I don't have a problem with back here. It's the smaller ones, but you got to use what you got. So this comes all the way across the compost pile and then attaches here at the polytunnel. I have not seen any digging, which is a good sign. So that's where it finishes over here, and then I pick it up over here on the other side of the polytunnel. And you can see from the posts where the fence goes. All right, comes around the tree here. And then here, I mean, it looks a little worse for wear, but it'll do the trick. This was the stuff that I found on the property. And my sister and husband lived here before I moved in. Oh, nasty little creature. Sorry. I just saw a squirrel. Over here in the brush area is where I found this, and there was lots of it. So I unearthed it and used it. So it comes around this way. So this meets all the way to the picket fence. And then I used a lower, not so high fencing, and I attached it directly to the pickets. All right, so it comes around this way. Just gonna get past this tree here. All right. And then this is what I meant by it's not completely finished yet. I just have the walkway here covered in chicken wire for now, but I'm gonna create some kind of a doorway, kind of a panel. I don't know if it'll have hinges on it. I am a little extra like that, so I might just make it with hinges so it opens like a door, or it could just be a panel that can be removed when need be. Just while we're here, my blueberries are in complete, just dripping with blossom right now. And have you ever smelled a blueberry blossom before? They smell really good. I had no idea. So the fencing continues along the picket fence. As you can see, I still haven't taken this fencing down. I'm still a little gun shy, to tell you the truth. Comes around this way. All right. And then it meets the second opening. Again, I'm going to figure something out, but there's just chicken wire here. And then the fencing continues to the garage. Okay. Over here, I don't have that much of a problem because the trellising is cattle panel, so it's naturally fenced. This, on the other hand, I did see a few rabbits jumping through this picket doorway. Okay, so I got that secured. again, it continues through here, through the trellising. The cold frame obviously blocks them, but there's more trellising behind that. And then over here, I did some fencing. Okay, and this is movable because I'd like to get the mower through here, and this is really my direct line into the front yard. So, and then along the little side porch here, okay, it runs this way. And rabbits can jump up to 2.5 feet if they're big enough. So I made sure to make sure that it was tall enough. I know that for certain because I used to have a pet rabbit. And so they can be really high jumpers when they want to. Anyways, so I'm just going to quickly take you along and show you what has been taken care of in the way of my plants. So this was one of the telltale signs that I was having problems with rodents, was these holes that are, dug into the ground. So I can see that for sure. And also they've been, chomping on these adorable little plants, which is, it's frustrating to say the least. So hopefully that will do the trick. I do have some blossom on my strawberries. They're all starting to pop. There may be some schools of thought when it comes to, first-year strawberry plants in the ground that maybe you should just take the blossoms off and let all of the goodness go into the plant for a year, and then you'll get a huge crop next year. But I'm honestly a greedy guts. So I'm gonna let them puppies do their thing and hopefully get a few strawberries. Hopefully that nothing will gnaw them down. I do have some lettuce in here. Volunteer. This was the compost pile, and it was a cold compost. It wasn't a hot compost, so I'm bound to get some seeds to pop up. So I'm happy it's seedlings that I can use. I talked about this tree. I thought it was dead, but take a look. It's beginning to emerge, so we're good. And this was the Matsu or Crispin. And then the same goes over here. I want to say, I don't know what this is. This looks like chamomile to me. So I left it, and there's some more lettuce in here as well. Okay, it looks beautiful. I'm happy to get lettuce this early that I didn't have to buy. Okay, you can see that I've gotten all of my bean trellising up. So along this portion here, I have 6-foot canes, and this will be for, well, originally it was going to be for the Blue Lake and then the Kentucky Wonder, but then I realized that I had purchased all Blue Lake seed. And actually, none of the seed that I planted in here is from a seed company. It was all of the seeds that I had harvested off of my vines that I left up over the winter. I didn't recall that. I think it was the January tour where I was finally taking down my canes. Well, a lot of those beans came from there. So, free beans. Okay, so all planted along here. And then I created these longer, larger canes by connecting the 6-foot canes together with some zip tie. Okay, and the reason why I wanted these canes to be really, really tall was because this is where my gigantes are going to go. And I have my very first seedling. Okay, this was the trial run seedling. And as you recall, I think I had said that we don't have gigantes beans sold here unless they go by a different name, but they don't sell them in seed companies here in the States. So I went and purchased the actual food product and shoved a couple on the ground, and well, they're seeds. They worked. So this is going to be all gigantes going all the way up. Fingers crossed. In between, I had told you that I was going to utilize the space. Okay, and I did. So obviously you can't see it because I freshly sown them, but there are red châtenay long season carrots underneath here. And then with that, I also sowed some French breakfast radish, and those are the longer radishes. So again, another hole. And so the worst part about it is I sprayed this stuff and it absolutely stinks back here. Like, it smells like vomit, okay? There you go. It smells like rotten eggs and carrion. It's just disgusting. And it's still, I mean, it's still pungent enough that it's bothering me, and yet I don't think it's bothering the rodents, so I think I just threw some money down the toilet. Other seeds that I had sown over here, I did some morning glories here, and those will grow up on either side. I'm going to plant these in with flowers. Okay, let's come along to the other part of the garden. Oh, I did. Sorry, I'm wandering aimlessly right now. Maybe it's the heat. I did finish. It looks rather gnarly, but it'll work. I finished putting the fencing up on this grow trellis for my spaghetti squash and my butternut squash. So happy about that. I'm glad that's taken care of. Okay. Over here are the pea trellises, and this is literally out of, let's see, I did 3 trays, 48 trays, 48 plants of each variety, and this is all I got. So I have one sad little alderman right here, and then the rest of these are the sugar snap. Okay, and these are a noshed too, or you can let them grow bigger and you can pod them if you want. But that's it. So I did another sowing. I know it seems kind of late, but inside the 3 humps, I sowed the Burpee's Progress. Okay, and those grow rather tall, 3 to 4 feet. And then on the first 2 humps, I did the Burpeena, easy to remember, love that name. Okay, and then inside these 2, or outside these 2 humps, I did Snowbird, and those are snow pea. I'm noshed too as well. I also sowed a row of the French horticultural beans. They're red. They're really, really cool looking. They look like marble. They've got like a marbled look about it. They look expensive. But anyways, they're supposed to be very vigorous growers, which is great because they certainly have a run for their money. Oh, I'm so funny. What else did I plant? Oh yes, my morning glories are finally in. The new obelisk. Okay, so I've got a plant for each major thing, whatever you call these. Okay, so they'll grow up. Hopefully they'll also spread out this way, so it will just be completely covered in vine and flower. That's the hope, at least. Working our way over here, these 2 little entry beds, and I'm going to be building entry beds on the other 2 trellisings that I have. In these 2 entry beds, I have morning glories planted. Okay, so they'll climb up. And then I did on this side as well. And then on the inside, I did nasturtium. So my hope is that some will go up this way, and then the rest will trail. It'll be really, really beautiful. Hopefully they don't take over the path, but if they do, who cares? It'll look beautiful. In this thin bed here, I did a heavy sowing of radio calendula, and it's like a deep orange. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Now, I just sowed them yesterday, so I'm not expecting anything anytime soon. Over here, you can't see it, okay, but there are 2 rows of carrots. Okay, so this is part of my Dig for Victory Garden scheme. 2 rows of carrots. This side is Scarlet Nance, this side is Danvers, and along with them I planted a variety of radish called Champion, and that they're a little bit smaller, kind of a cherry tomato size. I also planted in some of my chamomile that I grew from seed. Now, I first started up here And I was like, oh, I can get a lot in here if I do little individual plants. Was I out of my mind? Yes, I was. So I decided to just do clumps. Okay. The chamomile was here last year. If you guys remember the bush, it was massive. So it does well here. It only makes sense that I'd put it back here, of course. And here's some more chamomile growing. My broad beans are doing beautifully, coming along nicely. And the areas where I planted in the gaps are starting to finally come up. So we've got one there, and here, and there. Okay. And then one over here. Now these two areas here and here, this one was eaten. I'm not going to fill it in. And then this one, it's like a gopher hole or a vole. I don't know what it is. I just shoved the brick in there. I'm not admitting defeat, but I'm also not going to have to deal with that. Don't feel like it. Okay. What else do I got? What else do I got for you? I just want to show you this. I'm going to be planting this in very, very soon. I did plant at the opening, the entrance onto the wooden deck area. I did plant some calendula as well, so we'll just have a little pop of color as you're walking in, low growing, and it'll look very, very nice. But I need to get like my hollyhocks and my liatris and my lilies and everything else planted in. My zinnias, cosmos, bachelor buttons, they're all doing really, really well. I also managed to, oof, as I fall. I don't know if you can see it. There, right there. That is the first climbing rose that went into the ground, and that is the Gertrude Jekyll. So I'm going to train it up and over. It's going to be devastatingly gorgeous. Okay. Nothing in potato land yet. That's to be expected. It's just warming up now. I did plant some cosmos seeds through here, just so that we could have a nice tall backdrop. This rosemary is, it's pretty sad, but there is some green in here. So I'm going to cut this back and see what it will do. The sage, on the other hand, came back beautifully. Look at that green. Okay. And there's almost a bluish silvery tint to it. Glaucous, I think the word is, glaucous. Yes. Oh, look, here's another hole. They're all over the place. Never mind, the sorrel looks gorgeous. And then the lavender. And I did put some morning glory seeds behind that in the hopes that it will climb up and meet this trellis. Okay, let's head back into the shed now. So this is an update. I'm not calling it a tour. I don't want to call it a tour. This is not my May tour. I will go into great detail about the May tour when it actually happens, but honestly, I just wanted to show you the infrastructure, what's left of it, and to show you the seeds that I planted, although you didn't really see anything. You just saw my finger pointing at everything, but take my word for it. That's where they went. I will do a proper May video tour once I get as much as I can in the ground, and of course, I will go up on top of the garage and give you the bird's eye view so you can see the difference. Already I can tell you that it's completely different from the April tour, so I'm thrilled about that. What else? Make Do Mondays. The next one is not going to be this Monday. I'm still collecting some things, but I totally know what I'm gonna do, and it's wonderful. I'm not saying that because I came up with it, but I'm really excited. It's good stuff. And again, it's going to be stuff that I have around the house and stuff that I've been holding on to and things like that. So yes, and I believe it's a lot of things that you might be able to, that you may have kept, or if not, if you've discarded, you'll think twice about discarding it. So that'll probably come out on the 28th. I think that's that Monday, Memorial Day. Memorial Day here. Anyways, So I need to go cut some grass now, because I've let a lot of the grass grow because I do have a lot of bugleweed, okay, which grows these tall purple spires of flowers, and I have let them on. Now that other things are starting to bloom, my yard is completely enclosed by buckthorn trees, which are horrible, invasive, painful, okay? I think it's very close to like hawthorn or blackthorn if you're in the UK, but just the ouch. But anyways, they are finally starting to open up and bloom. The privet's in bloom. There are other things that are in bloom, so I feel good enough to, and there's lots of dandelions too, I feel safe enough to chop it down. It's getting really, really tall, but anyways, I want to get a lot of the mulching that I get from it. I want to put it in the expanse where the pumpkins are going to trail and the grow bags are going to be. It's an eyesore right now. I can't stand the look of it. Okay, so I'm going to put grass there, and I'm going to have so much grass to mulch my plants. I'm not worried about it, so I'm going to get that covered up. Okay, and that way I can start getting my grow bags online as well. So much to do. The list gets more big the more I think about it. So probably next week's video will be, I'm going to finally plant in that border by the pergola. Everything is really ready to go. Yeah, so I'm going to take my time and I'm going to do it right. I've got to plan it out. You know, I've got a lot of tall growing things. I need to put them in a situation where they're going to look like a backdrop. I don't want them to be, you know, covering things up, etc., etc. So I've got that. I need to plant the other 2 roses. I know exactly where they're going. I want to start getting my boxes and my baskets ready. The list grows every second of the day. So, and then a May tour when all is said and done, which will probably come at the very beginning of June once everything is done. So that's it for me. Again, if you are new to this channel since the Make 2 Mondays, welcome. Thank you so much for subscribing. I hope you're enjoying it. I didn't really talk a lot about stuff here, about my gardens and stuff like that, but you know what? Take a look back at some of my videos from the past month or two so you can kind of get caught up and see what's going on with like the Victory Garden scheme and things like that. And then you'll feel like you're in the loop. To my everyday subscribers, anyhow, thanks so much for watching. If you are new to the channel completely, welcome. Please consider subscribing, hit the notification bell, thumbs up, and leave your comments. I'm getting really, really good at saying that. It's like when my kids are playing in orchestra and they're sitting there and they're hunched over, okay, and they're, you know, they look terrible. I immediately say, you know, sit up, feet flat on the floor. Sit up, feet flat on the floor. I can say it like really, really fast. So that's what this is happening with me. Anyways, okay, I'm blustering. There's grass to be cut and there's beautiful weather to enjoy. So I hope your weather is enjoyable as mine right now. If not, I hope it improves soon, and I will see you all very, very soon for some more gardening fun. So long.